now. Hollywood, Hollywood, no looking down. Hollywood now. Hollywood, Hollywood, no looking down. Hollywood now.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another interview here on Hollywood Now on the King Solomon Entertainment platform. Thank you guys so much. We have another great interview for you today with another wonderful, wonderful guest. But before we do that, we're going to take this time to ask you guys to like, subscribe, share. We'd like to hear from you as well, your comments, and also hit the notification button to let you know when we go live. You can also share the experience with us as we continue to bring you great content. Educational content, positive content on our platform here on King Solomon Entertainment. And today we have no exception of a great guest today, a wonderful guest. I can't wait to tell you who it is. But before we do that, we have to make sure you guys hear from our partners and our sponsors and take this time to subscribe. So we'll be right back when you guys, after this message, after hear from our partners and our sponsors. So hang tight. HeartToHeartForYou.org. Heart to Heart mission is to supply every young person with a new pair of shoes, especially those who need them. A domestic and international nonprofit organization. 844-237-6344. Tell them King Solomon sent you. GQ Auto Connect. Simple, affordable, quality service that's worth it. New and used vehicles at a wholesale price and much, much more. 310-695-2404, Culver City, California. Tell them King Solomon sent you. GQAutoConnect.com. Dr. Amanda J. Rosette, Doctor of Physical Therapy, low back, neck, shoulder pain, pain management, post-surgical rehabilitation. RosettePhysicalTherapy.com, 424-243-5261. Tell them King Solomon sent you. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you connect with our partners and our sponsors and let them know that you heard about them here on the King Solomon Entertainment platform, and they'll give you the King Solomon discount. So thank you guys so much for that. And without further ado, we have a wonderful, wonderful special guest here on the Hollywood Now platform where we interview Hollywood celebrities, Hollywood influencers, and Hollywood insiders, everybody that make the Hollywood machine move forward. And so this special guest we have today, we're so excited to have her, so fortunate to have her today. Without further ado, NAACP award-winning writer, producer, actress, radio and TV personality. She's known for such credits as The Bag Lady, Love and Others 4 Letters, He's Mine, Not Yours, Claudine, Can You Spare Some Change, and so many others. We're so excited to have with us on the platform today, Hollywood Now, Miss Tammi Mack.
Give it up for myself. Give it up for myself.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. You are amazing. Been talking about you for years. Been seeing your work in radio, in plays. I've seen a couple of plays of yours. I've seen your one-woman show. Like amazing stuff you've been doing. We're so excited to have you on. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Welcome to the platform, Ms. Tammi Mack.
Thank you, King Solomon, and I'm very proud of you. Not many platforms who do these streaming services and podcasts and digital shows have sponsors, and you've got like 10 of them. I think I need to use 2 of them because the doctor with the back and the neck and the my neck, my back. I need to holler at Rosetta.
Yeah, that's good.
King Solomon sent me,
I forgot you was a comedian too. You're hilarious. That's so funny. Thank you so much. So this platform was designed to talk one-on-one with our Hollywood celebrities and Hollywood insiders. We expanded to influencers as well, but talk about their Hollywood experience. So we always start this platform with saying, where did it all begin for you? Your passion, your love for art. Where did it all begin for you?
I can't really say because I don't have a moment that it happened. I just know that I've always been creative. I've always been creating little miniature skits and writing raps back when I was 10 years old and creating, turning science projects into plays some kind of way in middle school. So I've always had a creative edge. I don't think there's anyone specific that I've researched in my family that has had a gene like that wanted to dive into the the entertainment industry. Most of my family, they're very low key and don't even want to take pictures, let alone be on television. So,
Mhm.
so
Wow.
I'm not sure where it all started. I have to say, as soon as my mama popped me out, I was
Mm.
welcome world. All the world's a stage, and the men and women are mere players. Yes.
Yeah. And you from Missouri. What was that like having that so much embodied talent, but living in Missouri where it's probably limited as far as the Hollywood platform and circle? So
Well,
you need to come here.
I don't know where that information came from. I know nothing about Missouri. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay, I
Houston,
know what
Texas
Missouri
is
came
my
from.
hometown.
Houston, Texas. And
I
you
don't
went
even
to
think
Texas,
I've ever been to Missouri.
Missouri.
But
But
yeah,
see, you went to Texas Southern, correct?
well, I worked at Texas Southern's radio station. I did not go to Texas Southern
University.
University. My
Okay.
high school was across the street from Texas Southern University. And
Mm,
most people know that high school now because George Floyd,
mm,
who was murdered by the police, he graduated from that same high school in Houston, Jack Yates High School. And so
wow.
Texas Southern is right across the street. They had a radio station. They still have a radio station called KTSU. And that's where I got my start in radio.
Wow.
They held a program on Saturdays for kids, and they called it Kids Jam. And they
Wow.
allowed kids from the age of 14 years old to 18 years old to come in and program their own show. And so that's where my radio career began. And my father really, well, my entire family, but my father really encouraged my creative and performance side of me. He got me the job at KTSU when I was only 14 years old.
Wow.
And he would take me around to local auditions in Houston. So it's always been in me. And being from Houston, Texas, Houston is much like LA. So LA is home to me because Houston and LA have so many similarities. They're both very big, although LA is number two, Houston is number four in the country as far as population. And it's very spacious and the highways are all over the place. In Houston, you got highways on top of highways. So, I'm very familiar with the highways. They're both close to Mexico. So there is a large Hispanic population, both in Los Angeles and Texas, i.e. Tejas, Los Angeles. So yeah, I think LA is always where I was meant to be. And I was prepared for LA just through being born and raised in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, so let's talk about the transition for a minute. The difference between being behind the camera in radio and then going out, stepping out, auditioning, and I'm going for roles and acting in front of the camera. Now, how did that prepare you? Because I know radio, you a character, you become a character, or at least you get out uh, what's what's inside of you by talking and expressing yourself through radio. So did that help you a lot when you think about in hindsight? Auditioning and being an actress and coming to Hollywood for roles and stuff like that?
I don't know because King Solomon, I've always done them both. Like I
Uh-huh.
said, I started in radio when I was 14 years old.
Mm,
And I was acting when I was, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they've both acting and radio have always been a part of my world. So one didn't come first and then the second one follow. It was never like that. They've both been a huge part of my world. And so does one help the other? Absolutely. But I
mm,
think mainly what radio has done for me, it has allowed me to be more free. It's allowed
mm,
me to be able to not be afraid. So I think it gave me more confidence. Radio gave me more confidence in my acting capabilities and in performing for the camera. I attribute all of it to radio because radio was what I did professionally first.
mm.
Uh, it was, radio was the the first time I made money in entertainment. And
Wow.
then, after that came the commercials and the movies and the plays and the TV shows and things of that nature. But I've been a professional radio personality for a very long time since I was a teenager. And
Wow.
so I think what it did for me was build my confidence and it allowed me not to be afraid of anyone. And that's really important when you are dealing with adults at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
I'm I'm this just a young damn near toddler.
Yeah.
while other people are adults in the radio industry. So I
Yeah.
think it allowed me not to be fearful or intimidated, if you will, by
Mhm.
walking into a room full of people who are celebrities, by walking
Yes.
into a room full of people who are adults, by
Yeah.
walking into a room full of people who are more successful than me. Because
Yeah.
at the age of 14, I was interviewing Tupac. I was interviewing NWA. I was interviewing Will Smith. Like I
Wow.
have been interviewing since I was a teenager. So
Yeah.
I think it allowed me not to be scared of those who are more successful than I am, or those who are on a higher pedestal by society than I am.
Right.
So and it helped, like, because when you go into auditions, you know, you're auditioning next to people who you grew up watching on television, and
Yeah.
that can be very intimidating.
Yes.
You know, when that's not what you've been doing all of your life. But I think radio helped me to get over that hump, which is a serious hump, because it all starts here.
Yeah. But what about writing and producing? You're also a writer, a gifted writer and a producer. So how has writing the story, then going in front of the camera and acting it out, how has that helped writing the story?
I enjoy writing because my writing is probably the most authentic of myself.
Hmm.
A lot of times when I'm on the radio, I play when I'm doing my TV talk show, I play devil's advocate a lot, so you don't necessarily know where I stand. When I'm on the radio, I also, you know, I mix in the devil's advocate with the comedian, with the acting, so you get a little bit of everything. And then there are moments that I'm authentically myself.
Yeah.
Um, but I think when I write, that's when I'm most vulnerable. That's when
Mm.
I'm most myself. That's when I'm most genuine. That's when I'm most authentic. So in my writings is where the real me really come out, um, in every essence, I think. So that's what writing does for me.
Wow. So we're talking to Tammy Mack here on Hollywood Now, TV radio personality, actress, producer, writer. And it's so exciting because you have this wonderful late night talk show on Fox Soul.
Yeah, they moved it from late nights to 4 p.m. On the West Coast, so that people could watch it a little bit earlier on the East Coast. So it's 4 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's 7 p.m. on the East Coast. So not so late anymore.
Okay.
And it's a debate show, a relative debate show, relatively a debate show about social issues and political issues, which
Mm.
I am into political issues, but not as much as the show is
Yeah.
into political issues.
But
It's definitely a different side of me, and it's a side of me that I had never tapped into in a
mm,
real way
mm,
until Fox television kind of discovered that passion in me for social justice. So I
yeah,
do give credit
amazing.
to Fox for igniting that spark.
No, that's amazing. Stepping out on all these trending, current topics, all these controversial topics. You have to stay ahead of them and definitely give a perspective. And people are loving it because I know to come from late night, although that's a preference for some people, but to be
Yeah.
moved to what's considered prime time, that's a good sign. I don't know. Is it still a good sign?
Listen, anytime you got your own show, it's a damn good sign. You understand what I'm saying? I'm on television. I'm actually on the Fox channel in my hometown, Houston, Texas, on the weekends, and the show also runs in New York. So, is that a good sign?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So let's talk about your Hollywood experience. When you came to Hollywood, what was that like? What did a lot of people embrace you? What was the challenges when you first came? What was that like?
I don't think anybody embraces anybody when you come to Hollywood.
Mhm.
God. I don't
Mm,
think anybody embraces anybody. Let me preface that with, if you're a nobody.
right.
So, so when I got to Hollywood, when I got to Los Angeles, I knew absolutely no one.
Yeah.
No one. I had an aunt who I asked to stay with, and she said no. Um, and so I was pretty much fending for myself in Los Angeles. Obviously, back in Houston supported me 100%. Nobody was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be nobody. Why you out there trying to be an actor? You should come back home, be on the radio." Blah blah blah. I never got that from my family, and that there's so many stories that I hear from my friends and other people who are in LA where their family don't necessarily support this type of career because on the surface it looks like it's a lottery draw when really it's just to work your ass off sort of situation as anything else. So I didn't know anyone when I first got here. I didn't even know the freeways when I first got here, and there was no GPS at that time.
At that time.
And that was just look, it make it sound like I was born in the horse and carriage days. That was just 15 years
Yeah,
ago. I
yeah,
don't think people realize 20 years ago there was no unlimited long distance plans on T-Mobile. That did not exist.
yeah. Well,
There was no GPS. There was no Tesla that told you
right.
where your car was parked. Like that did not exist
No, it
20
didn't.
years ago, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So so don't make it seem like I'm old, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? 20 years is not a long time ago. That was
We
not a
all
long
know.
time ago. 20
Yeah.
years, I was 20,
And
you
you
know?
was 5. I was 5. Okay. So no, no, seriously, that's so true. And but the fact that you've been able to navigate your way, and I think that's the great Hollywood story. Not because of, but in spite of, you've been able to make a name for yourself, make a career out of it. And I know radio has played a very intricate part because you get to promote yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that was a very a nice plus to auditioning and booking stuff as well. So the value of radio, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I
So
have to say, and that's what I thought too, King.
mm,
I have not gotten a job
mm,
because I'm on the radio
mm,
ever
mm,
in Los Angeles. No one has come up to me and said, "Hey, I listened to you on the radio. I'd love for you to be in my next movie." You know what I'm saying? I've not gotten that. I have not. I have found that because I am a radio personality, that's what people see me as. And so
mm,
they don't ask me to be in movies. They don't ask me to be on television shows. They don't ask me to do anything other than voice over something for them or host something for them. So it has that in itself, as much of a blessing it has also been a challenge because I've been so successful at
mm,
radio. Um, my entire career, I've been very successful at radio. It's hard to keep a job in this industry for this
yes,
long.
yes,
So I thank God every day for my
yeah,
radio job.
yeah,
But because I've been so successful at radio, people limit me to
mm,
other things, and they're unaware that I have a master's of fine arts in
wow,
theater, that I studied it for 3 years, that if
mm,
I wanted to go to USC and become a professor in the theater arts department, I could very well do that.
yeah,
Most people don't know that. Most people don't know how seriously I take it and how I study at workshops and with casting directors, and I have a coach, and that when I put my mind to it, and that I'm auditioning every day and really so badly, and literally moved here to be in TV and in movies. That's
yeah,
why I moved here.
yeah,
Um, Radio was what I asked God for to sustain me, and
yeah,
He delivered big time,
yes,
big time.
yeah,
But I did. I knew that what I could do and the skill that I did have was radio.
hmm,
And if I could just get on the radio in Los Angeles, I could sustain myself while auditioning. And I think I think more happened. I'm not sure if you can, oh, okay. I don't know what just happened there.
no,
Uh,
it's technology.
oh, okay. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it ain't.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I think that
it's good, really good.
so yeah, being in radio and promoting myself, that gets a little tricky too,
Hmm.
because let's say I'm in a movie, right? But if the movie hadn't bought advertising on the radio station that I work for, I can't be talking about it because that that comes with being a client. I can obviously mention, hey, check me out in the new movie or whatever. But if I do that too much, it becomes illegal. Uh,
Yeah.
and you have to, that particular company or producers or whatever have to buy advertising time in order to get the full scope and the full benefit of me being on the radio in their advertisement.
No, that's a wonderful insight. That's what I'm saying. That's wonderful insight because a lot of people get that mixed up, and it just gave great clarity of the misinformation that we have or the assumptions that we make because of certain spaces we occupy. So that's really good. I didn't even know that. You
Well,
definitely have
because you
people.
mentioned my one woman show. When I did my one woman show, I had to literally pay for advertising on
Mm,
KLH to promote my one woman show. I was
remember.
not allowed to just be talking about the show,
No,
like,
I remember the advertisements on TKJLH. I remember the show. I remember that time. So
yeah,
again, during that time, I was assuming that one was,
that it was
because
all free,
yeah,
right? No, not at all.
wow.
Not at
No,
all.
that's good. That's good business savvy. That's good insight to have when you
Right.
conduct the
But
business.
it's good. It is good that I'm on the radio because I
Yeah,
am on the radio. And then, you've got these commercials running about the lady on the radio. So
yeah,
it is beneficial, no
yeah,
doubt. It is also beneficial in the way that I can garner a fan base.
yeah,
I can garner a fan base locally here in Los Angeles, which is the number 2 market in the nation. So that's not bad either, that people already know who I am, and can follow and track my career and be a part of it with me. So I
yeah.
think those are the benefits to also being on the radio. If you hear that I'm in a movie, you're gonna go see it.
Yes. Come on in, Instagram. Instagram is coming on in. We here with radio personality, TV personality, actress Tammi Mack from the Tammi Mack Show on Fox Soul. We're so glad to have you. And let's
Thank
talk
you.
about the auditioning process. Like when you go in for those roles, like how do you approach it? I know you said you have a master's in fine arts. You approach it seriously. You study. You're well qualified. But how, when you get in there, how does all that come together?
Uh, you have to trust, the work that you do, which is
Mm,
why you have to work on it pretty consistently,
mm,
because if you don't work on it consistently, you get nervous, you frazzle, you're unsure of yourself, and all of that shows in your performances. But I think if you work on it consistently, by the time game day comes, you're ready to shoot the jump shot.
mm, mm, mm. So what has Tabby Mack haven't done that she desires to do? Like what keeps you going? What do you want to do? What you're working on?
I want to do everything. I like, literally, I want a picture deal with Netflix. That is my dream.
Mm,
I just finished writing, producing, and directing a horror film, a
mm,
psychological thriller. And so I'm looking forward to that coming out at some point, being in film festivals and pitching to, distributors like Netflix and Amazon. But I'm looking for deals, like looking for major stuff right now to happen. That's where I am.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So have anybody given you any great advice? I often ask this to my guests. Now that you have a name, you're working and you're pursuing new great opportunities. And I'm sure someone at this point, you definitely know a lot of people at this point. Have anybody gave you some great sound advice that you really like horn to and kind of like change, who you are?
None that I can like literally think of and remember. The only advice that I pretty much stick to is my mother's advice.
Mm.
And my mother always says, listen to everybody and then do what the fuck you want to do. And that's literally what she says. I don't know if this is a Christian show or what, but that's a quote from my mama.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I still think my mom gave me some of the best advice too, and I remember it. You don't never stray away from it. So it's something good, and I quoted people still like that's good, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
This,
because my mom was, she said, people will, and this is the example she used. She said, you'll say that you want a Cadillac and you'll tell people, yeah, I'm going to buy a Cadillac. And people be like, don't buy no Cadillac. The bumpers fall off them Cadillacs. Them Cadillacs use a lot of gas. And then the
yeah,
next time you see them, they'll be driving around in a Cadillac. So
They wanted to get it first, right?
listen to everybody, but do what you want to do. And
Absolutely.
I think that comes with trusting yourself, trusting your training, and also trusting God. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times we asking a lot of people for a lot of stuff, and they're not qualified to answer the questions that we ask. Only God is qualified to answer certain questions that we ask of people. And I think we give people too much power over our future, over our destiny, over our journeys. We give people too much power just because they make more money than us, or just because they have more fame than us, or just because they have more awards than us. We feel like, well, they must know everything, so let me ask them. But I guarantee you, everybody has gotten to where they've gotten in a different way.
Yes.
Lil Kim got to where she got to in a different way than Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj got there in a different way than Cardi B. I mean, but they are all female rappers who have been on the charts and gone platinum, some diamond, and have made an impact in the world of hip hop. Oprah Winfrey, Barbara Walters, uh, 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 Jenny, I forgot her name. Jenny, not Jenny Craig, Jenny Jones, Martell Williams.
Yeah.
They have all been successful talk show hosts, but they've
Yes.
all arrived there in a different way.
Yeah.
And so I think we do ourselves a disservice to
Yes.
constantly try to have other people figure out for us what only God has an answer to.
That's amazing. And I think all of our journeys are customary to us. You know what I'm
Their
saying?
fingerprints.
Yeah.
Everyone is different.
Everybody's different and we handle things differently, but it's a beautiful journey, a beautiful struggle, when you just make up your mind that giving up is not an option. And definitely when you come to LA, you definitely have to have all your ducks in a row.
Yes.
And one of the primary things is sustainability. And so I think you tackled that, you nailed that right on. Having something to sustain you that gives you the ability to go
Yeah,
out
you
and do
asked
shit.
about the challenges of Los Angeles or Hollywood. One of the challenges is to be able to afford to live here. And that's
Absolutely.
real. You know what I mean? Like that's no play. That's real. Gas out here right now is $6.99 a gallon. And
Absolutely.
those pictures you see on the internet are not false. That is the price of gas. If you
Yes.
want bottled water, it's $6.97 for a case of bottled water. Like it
Yes.
is really expensive. Just a one bedroom studio in this
Yeah.
piece is
Yeah.
literally $2,000.
$2,000. Yeah.
It costs a lot to live here. And the
Yeah.
first order of business should be to sustain yourself.
Absolutely. And I tell people, to everybody who I talk to, that's number one. If I don't hear that in your vocabulary or in your language, you haven't gotten it. Because it's a language to it. And you
Yeah.
know who's serious about it because you hear the language. And it's like, you ain't got it. And so many people come home and come back, come home, go back. And it's like, you still ain't got it. So when I hear the right language, I say, you got it. I know when I hear it. You got
Right.
it, because you ain't got a place
You
to
know,
lay.
yeah, you know, King, you know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, we love you. We enjoy you. Please let people know how they can connect with you, what you got coming up, how they can, can definitely partner with you on everything you got going.
You can just follow me on Instagram. That's where I am most of the time at the Tammy Mac Show. TAMMIMAC. No K.
Okay. And we have a wonderful platform called Until Laughter Rings, where we invite all the comedians on, and they come and play with us. And it's
Love it.
when kind of like laughter and gestures come together, like trending topics and stuff like that. So we have fun talking about current events and stuff like that. So I would love to have you on there because you are hilarious. You are hilarious. You are really
Thank you.
funny.
I don't
And
mean to be.
I can't thank you enough because you responded right away. I really appreciate that. And so you definitely, if all our guests are friends to the show, come back anytime. I'd love to have you and definitely have you back for the Until After Rings. And
You
thank
let
you
me
so
know.
much.
Okay, you just got me 30 minutes. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm out of
No,
here, King.
no, I definitely because I think I covered everything.
Well,
And
good.
I know I talked about the show. I talked about
You talked
um,
about everything.
in Hollywood. But like I say, if it's something else that I missed, I definitely in all your credits you have. I didn't know you've done so much stuff. To be honest with you, and so but your career in radio has been amazing. Like you say, unparalleled. It's been amazing. So
Well, yeah, it has overshadowed most of everything.
But no, I think it's just really something you, like you say, you're really really organically good at, and that's what people remember you by. But I think they'll be surprised to see some of your other stuff, because the one woman show, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Thank
and I
you.
just know you have so many other talents, and the world is just waiting to see. But they definitely know who Tammy Mack is. That's for sure.
Hallelujah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And you keep interviewing people on the red carpet and doing this show,
Yes.
because your genuine interest in people reads
Yeah.
through perfectly clear. So I appreciate you
Oh,
for
thank
that.
you. I appreciate that. Yeah, God has definitely, like I say, God has definitely been, doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I had a career in production behind the scenes, but I knew some folks, but it kind of like took off. So I'm excited that it's going where it's going, and hopefully I'll be on a bigger platform. But I'm happy with Roku right now and Fire Stick. So, until then, we'll
Oh
continue to
yeah.
grow. Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you so much, man. If we left out anything, please, let us know what's coming up, what we left out. We'd love to hear everything you got going on, and definitely, come back. Definitely, we love to have you back.
All right. Let me know when you got the info. We've been in
Yeah.
contact. So
Okay,
whenever you
definitely.
want,
You gotta come make us laugh
I'm
on the
here.
Till After Raids, because we had so many other
I can't
comedians.
wait to do that.
No, it's hilarious. You got to come, and they act a fool. So it's gonna be really good. Can't wait to have you on there. You fit in right perfectly. So thank you
All right.
so much, Tammy. I can't thank
Thank
you
you,
enough.
King.
And, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. Hollywood Now, Tammy Mack, everybody. Thank you so
Peace
much.
out.
All
All love.
right. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe, share this video. Actress Tammy Mack, radio personality Tammy Mack. I cannot believe another great show here on Hollywood Now. Share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. The link is in the bio, in the comments, and it's going down the bottom of the screen right now. Click the link and we got comments and everything. Everybody's been chiming in. We thank you so much. Until next time, Hollywood Now here on King Simon Entertainment. Thank you guys so much.